Ready?
Right, that's all.
The rugby scrum. Loud, rugged, and always rough. Just the way the Kats Rugby Club likes it. A 5-minute drive from practice in the heart of Kitsilano, you'll find testament to this. Welcome to the Kats Clubhouse, home to Kats Rugby, countless stories, and most importantly, New Zealand. It's also home to John, one of 5 Kiwis living in the basement of the clubhouse.
The club was set up in the 50s by a couple of guys who played for a competing club down the road, the Mirilomas. They wanted to set up their own outfit, so they founded the Kats. This house, I believe, was purchased late 70s by a bunch of club members, and they did it up, and here we are. To this day, it's been continually going as the clubhouse. Basically, it's open to anyone who wants to play for the team. Rent's pretty cheap. It's subsidised by the club.
John's roommate Ross knows the one rule. If you stay, you play. For $180 a month, it's cheap, but it could land you in the pit.
It's the worst bedroom in the house because it's got no windows, no walls, right next to the furnace, and if you're the 5th guy in the house, you get this room pretty much. It's known for having mouses in the back, and if you bring a girl home, you probably don't want to bring her into the pit.
But girls do visit the house. There's Amanda and Brimwin and Janessa. But for some, it's too much to take.
Oh, you'd like to know about the note, would you? This is the actual note that his girlfriend... This is how she let him know that she'd left the country and ran back to New Zealand. His drinking was a bit much.
The club doesn't just help the Kats get girls, it helps them get jobs. Ross works for Silver Fern Contracting, a construction company on Vancouver's west side. It's owned and operated by a former Cat player. Anthony Joyce was once like Ross, living, playing, and working through the clubhouse.
A lot of guys have done construction before, or this and that. And there's a lot of guys travelling around that have got trades. So I've employed plumbers, and I had 2 plumbers working for me at one stage.
I'd done a bit of building in the past, so hit up Joycey for a job, and he was great about it, and it's been awesome for me.
Even though the Kats work hard on the job site, Joycey worries they're not bringing that same intensity to the field.
Is it a bad thing for the person that doesn't want to train and just show up on Saturday and have a few beers after the game? No, it's a great thing. Is it a bad thing for the old guys that played there when it was a superpower in Vancouver rugby? Yeah, it's a bad thing.
Despite the scores, Ross understands the past. He knows the tradition. And as long as he stays, he'll always play.
The club's got a history for winning. Like back in the 70s, I think, they had a record in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the most winningest team in amateur sport in the world. So that's always kind of a tradition in the club that we don't lose. But we've lost a few games this year. But I think the club's still strong. It can always bounce back from that.
Sure, they don't win every game, but it's not about a perfect record. It's about the tradition.
I think a lot of people back in New Zealand would be jealous at what I've done and what all these New Zealanders coming through the house have done.
So it's what you call a party house. I think is probably the best way to put it. But at the same time, it's in Kitsilano and it's nice, and we get picked up for work, and we're sort of pretty well looked after here.
It's the end of practice at Balaclava Park, but that's all it is. Next week, month, year, new Kats players will always show up, ready to play. It's a non-negotiable. If you stay, you play. That's the rule. That's the tradition. It's rugby for rent.
Viva Kats!